Welcome in our colleague Roch Kubatko of MASNsports.com. So, Roch, on Sunday in Tampa, Steve Pearce came out of the lineup, out of the game with a stomach ailment. Day off Monday, did not play last night, not in the starting lineup tonight. Is Steve close to getting back, to being able to get in the field?
He is. He's available off the bench tonight, we're told. Apparently this was not just a 24-hour virus. It lasted longer than that, to the point where on Monday in Baltimore, he actually went to the hospital and got an IV, and he could not play last night. Buck was kind of like, I'll never tell whether he was available, but we knew he wasn't. He just doesn't like the other manager to know that, as you know. But Buck said the stomach virus is just about gone now, and actually, if we'd been in an American League ballpark, Pearce probably would have been the DH tonight, but here at Citi Field, that wasn't an option. But he worked out, he took batting practice, so it looks like he's just about recovered. Buck said it's slowed to a drip, and I'm sorry I had to share that with you. Sorry for that visual, but I would expect him to be back in the lineup tomorrow, of course, because we're at Yankee Stadium, where there is a DH, so if nothing else, he could at least do that. Nice bat to have off the bench tonight if they need him, though.
Insight you only get here from Roch Kubatko. Now, a couple of guys who are very close to getting back. We just had a shot of J.J. Hardy and Ryan Flaherty in their Bowie Bay Sox uniforms last night. They're playing their third consecutive game tonight. What's the game plan, and how close are they to rejoining the O's?
This is my minor league segment here. Actually, it looks like they could come back tomorrow. In fact, Buck left open a possibility that both Hardy and Flaherty could meet up with the team at Yankee Stadium. Now, Flaherty can't be activated from the DL until Friday. That seems like a slam dunk at this point. JJ, of course, since he started the year on the DL, backdated, he could come back at any time. So it's going to depend on how they both feel after tonight's game. But Buck said he talked to JJ this morning, very encouraged by how his shoulder was feeling. It was key with him playing the consecutive games, swinging the bat, making sure it still wasn't grabbing. Looks like he's ready to go as well, so they'll both play tonight. Now, Bowie has an 11 a.m. game tomorrow. Buck may spare both of them that one unless he thinks they need more at-bats, and they could go ahead and accompany each other, make that trip to the Bronx, and be in the clubhouse. It's possible that Hardy's activated tomorrow, or at least is with the team, and again, Flaherty will be activated on Friday. Flaherty, we know, is a slam dunk. With JJ, it's kind of like, again, this day-to-day, let's see how he feels tomorrow morning type thing.
But and we should point out that you are right next to LaGuardia Airport, and I think the 640 to Chicago just took off behind you there, so you were a little bit drowned out, but a nice keeping your concentration there. Okay, so Hardy and Flaherty are near coming back. Now, here's the bigger dilemma or question. How do they get on the active roster? Which two players go to make room?
Yeah, that's going to be tricky. I would think Ray Navarro, or not to be the Grim Reaper, but I would think he would be the guy that would be option to make room for one of them. If Jimmy Paredes is playing second base over him right now, so I think Ray Navarro is a guy with options. You could send him down. The other one's a little trickier. Now, Everett Cabrera could be options, since he does have options, if Buck's comfortable enough of having Pearce, Paredes kind of help out at second base with Ryan Flaherty. And Flaherty, of course, can also move over to shortstop. So that would be probably the easiest move, because David Lowe's out of options, Paredes is out of options, Diaz is out of options. I did ask Buck, I said, look, should we assume you wouldn't go with 11-man pitching staff? And Buck said, I wouldn't assume that. That would be a temporary solution. They wouldn't do that for very long. But Buck didn't dismiss that possibility that they could go ahead and eliminate a pitcher right now, especially with the starters pitching as deep as they are. They're having trouble getting innings for their relievers. But then who would that be? Kevin Gausman has options. Do you pull the plug on the Rule 5 experiment with Jason Garcia? If I had to guess, I would guess Cabrera would be a guy that could go ahead. You could go ahead and option, but Buck said they're examining all the possibilities right now.
Now, the team comes in at 12-12, and as we pointed out earlier, the exact same record through 24 games as last year. Maybe it's a good sign that all of these things are going on this early, where they can right the ship and then begin to play more consistent baseball once their regular lineup gets in there day in and day out.
Exactly. I think they also played 500 ball in May as well. So I think, again, I've told people this. If you had said at the beginning, hey, you're not going to have Wieters or Hardy at all up to this point, Scope's going to go on the DL. Wesley Wright, who was supposed to help out, ease the loss of Andrew Miller, he would be on the DL. And Flaherty, your super utility guy, would be on the DL. You probably would have thought this was a last-place team way below 500. So it's really amazing that they've done this well. Plus, when you looked at how bad the rotation was doing early on, they were last in the majors in ERA, and now they've got, 7 straight quality starts, 8 straight starts of at least 6 innings. And here they are, a 500 team. It all starts with starting pitching, Jim, as we have often said.
All right, now, just so we have this clear, you did get permission from Steve Molesky to talk about the minor leagues, right?
Only because it was major league guys on a rehab assignment. That was the only reason.